Why do the women of one Japanese village still walk on their own at 90, while so many of us reach for a walker at 70? 7 small movements kept every day. The 5th one matters most of all. Keep even one, and your body may thank you for years. Let me show you. My grandmother rose before the sun, before the rice, before a single word. She would stand in the courtyard and move her whole body with the voice on the radio. The courtyard was cold in winter, and I would watch her from the doorway, still wrapped in my blanket. Her breath rising white in the morning air as she reached and bent and turned. As a boy, I thought it was a kind of prayer. In a way, it was. What she did has a name: Radio Taiso. A gentle 3-minute routine, broadcast across Japan since 1928. 13 simple movements: reaching, bending, twisting, rising onto the toes, that wake every joint in the body. She was past 80 then, and she did not miss a single morning, not even in her last winter. That, I think now, is why she stayed herself until the very end. I know that in the morning the body can feel like a stiff door. I know how easy it is to stay in the chair. You are not lazy. You are only out of the habit of moving first. When researchers followed more than 18,000 older Japanese, those who kept this daily habit held on to their independence longer than those who did not. So begin here. 3 minutes when you wake. No floor, no equipment. You can do it beside your bed. Reach to the sky, roll the shoulders, rise gently onto the toes. Let the body remember it is still yours. There was an old monk who walked the mountain each morning, 3 minutes hard, until his breath grew short, then 3 minutes soft, as if strolling. Up and down he went. My mother, who could not climb mountains, learned to walk the valley road the very same way. Neither of them knew they were doing science. Walk briskly for 3 minutes, fast enough that speaking in full sentences grows hard, then slowly for 3, 5 times. This is all it is. You may think walking is only walking, that it cannot matter much. I thought so too once. Yet doctors at a Japanese university proved that walking this way builds the strength in the legs and the wind in the chest, far more than walking at one steady pace. My mother walked that valley road into her 9th decade. The grocer's hill that once left her breathless, at 80 she climbed it without stopping. She never called it training. She called it her morning. Try it 4 mornings a week. 3 minutes quick, 3 minutes easy, until 30 minutes have passed. Strong legs are not vanity. Strong legs are freedom. At our market, there was a vendor, past 80, who stood all day on bare feet. He used to say he gripped the earth with his toes. We laughed. But that man never slipped. never stumbled. When the children gathered around his stall, he would curl his toes and lift a coin from the ground with them, and we would shriek with laughter. To us it was a trick. To him it was a lifetime of standing sure on his own 2 feet. In Japan we lived close to the ground, barefoot on the tatami, feet free in simple sandals. The toes stayed awake. They learned to grip. We never think of our feet until the day they fail us. It is not your fault that no one ever taught you to train them. In a study of more than 600 older adults, the strength of the toes told who would keep their balance, even better than the strength of the knees. So tonight, barefoot, place a small towel on the floor and gather it toward you using only your toes. 10 times. Then the other foot. The feet that hold you deserve a few minutes of your care. Soon I will show you the simplest test you will ever take. 1 minute, 1 leg. And why? For a woman, it may be the most important minute of her day. But first, the evening ritual that loosens what the years have made stiff. Let me confess something. There were mornings, not long ago, when my body simply would not bend. I would sit on the edge of the bed and feel afraid. Afraid that this was the beginning of the end of moving freely. What returned me to myself was the oldest habit in Japan, the evening bath, not a quick shower, a true soak up to the shoulders in warm water every night. If your joints greet you each morning with pain, I understand the quiet dread of it. I have felt it in my own hands. When nearly 14,000 older people were followed for 3 years, those who soaked in a warm bath most nights became dependent on others for their care far less often. There is no machine in this, no effort you must summon, no strength you must already have. You simply rest in the warmth, and slowly the body forgives you the day. So tonight, sink into warm water for 10 or 15 minutes. Let the heat loosen the hips, the back, the knees. Rise slowly, drink water, and never rush the warmth if your heart or blood pressure need care from your doctor. In the village of Ogimi lives a woman named Suru-san. She is 92. While she waits for her water to boil, she stands on one leg, quiet, steady, like the crane on the morning pond. She has never once fallen. Her younger sister stopped moving years ago. She sat because sitting felt safe. One afternoon she fell, only once. She never walked again. Two sisters, one small habit between them. Here is Tsuru-san's secret, and it costs nothing. Stand on one leg near a counter for safety for 1 minute. Then the other leg, 3 times through the day. Japanese doctors gave this a gentle name, the flamingo. The fear of falling is real, and it is heavy. It can make a person sit down for good. I do not ask you to be brave. I ask you only to stand by the counter where you are safe. When doctors tested this in women who already had poor balance, it lowered their falls and kept more of them living independently in their own homes. Begin today. One hand near the counter, lift one foot, and hold for a minute. This is the fifth movement I promised you, the one that decides whether you remain the keeper of your own life or wait one morning for another hand to lift you. Choose the crane. Every morning, before I sit to speak with you, I kneel in my own small garden. I bend to the soil, I reach for the leaves, I rise again. I have done this for 40 years, and I will do it until I cannot. This is the Okinawan way of staying strong without ever calling it exercise. To bend, to reach, to carry, to rise, many small times each day. The body asks for movement, and the garden gives it a reason. Perhaps you have no garden. Perhaps the days feel too full or too empty. I understand. The reason matters less than the moving. Among older people who already struggle to move, those who tended something green each day lived longer than those who stopped. So tend something living. A row of vegetables, a few pots on the balcony, herbs on the windowsill. 20 minutes, most days. Bend, reach, rise. Let your care for something keep your body in motion. And now the last movement, the one I believe matters most of all. It is not in the legs or the feet. It is in how you carry yourself through the world. The elders of my village, all of them, kept their backs straight to the very end. My teacher, the weaver next door, the old fisherman on the shore. They did not fold inward. They stood as if the sky still needed holding up. The years pull the body forward into a curve, but the spine can be taught to stay tall by strengthening the muscles along the back and by simply remembering to lift the chest each day. It is the most natural thing in the world to let the shoulders round, to look down at the path. No one is to blame for that. The body bends because we forget to ask it to rise. In one Japanese study, those who let the spine curve with age lost their independence and their years sooner than those who stayed upright. So once a day, stand with your back against a wall, heels, hips, shoulders, head all touching, and breathe there for a minute. Lie down and gently lift your chest from the floor. A back that stays straight carries the body a long, long way. So here they are, the 7 the women of Okinawa keep. Move the whole body each morning. Walk in waves. fast and slow. Wake the toes that hold you. Soak in the warm water at night. Stand on one leg like the crane. Tend something living. And carry your back straight through it all. Not one of these is difficult. Not one of them asks for a gym, or money, or strength you do not have. They ask only for the smallest thing, that you keep moving in little ways every single day. Remember, the two sisters, the difference between them was not luck, and it was not their bones. It was one small habit, repeated. The body forgets what we stop asking of it, and it remembers what we practice. This is the quiet truth the women of my village understood. So do not try to do all 7 tomorrow. Choose one, the one that touched you most. Begin this week, and let it become as ordinary as your morning tea. This is how a woman reaches 90 still walking her own path in the morning sun, not by conquering age, but by refusing to surrender the small movements, one ordinary day at a time. I am only an old man, sharing what the East was wise enough to remember. If even one of these movements found a place in your day, then our tea was not wasted. Stay with me. Each week, we recover another piece of this wisdom. Next time, the quiet thing the women of Okinawa stopped eating after 70, and how it may have added years to their lives. Until then, may you move gently, may you stand tall, and may you keep your own 2 feet for many years to come.